Page 104 from the song book, 104. Hare Krishna. I welcome all the devotees. Thank you for coming. Hare Krishna. As a special welcome, I would like to welcome the newest member of our Bhakti Sastri group, who has kind of at least agreed to tolerate me for some days, see if I'm any way useful for her. So please welcome Vrinda. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. I don't know, I hope by your presence, your friends also will be inspired to come. And you may question them as to why they didn't come today. Make it a little bigger. Shri Rupa Manjari Pada Shei Mora Sampada Shei Mora Bhajan Pujana Shri Rupa Manjari Pada Shei Mora Sampada Shei Mora Bhajan Pujana Shei Moro Pranadhana Shei Moro Abharana Shei Moro Jiva Nirjivana Shei Moro Pranadhana Shei Moro Abharana Shei Moro Jiva Nirjivana Shei Moro Rasha Nidhi Shei Moro Vancho Siddhi Shei Mora Vedera Dharama 'Shei Brata Shei Tapa Shei Moro Mantra Japa Shei Mora Dharam Karama One oh four Anukula habe vidhi shei pade hoibe siddhi nirakhibo e dui nayane Anukula habe vidhi shei pade hoibe siddhi nirakhibo e dui nayane Shei Rupa Madhuri Rashi Prana Kuvalaya Shashi Prapulita habe nishidine Shri Rupa Madhuri Rasi Prana Kuvalaya Shashi Prapulita Habe Nishidine. Tuya adarsanaya hi garale jarole dehi chirodina tapita jivana. Tuaya darshanaya hi garale jarole dehi chiradina tapita jivana. Ha Prabhu karo daya deha mare pado chaya naratama laila sharana. Ha Prabhu karo daya deha mare pado chaya naratama laila sharana. Shri Rupa Manjari Pada Shei Moro Sampada Shei Moro Bhajan Pujana. Shei Moro Pranodhana Shei Moro Abhorana Shei Moro Jiva Nirjivana. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva. His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. His Divine Grace, Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. So, I thank you all again for coming. This is a very foundational class, and I'm glad that you could make it. So, before we start our class, what do? Thank you. So, do you know Mangalacharan prayers? Do you know the Mangalacharan prayers? All of them? No? That's fine. We can have, we can try from Bhagavad Gita. I think that's a better choice. So, Brinda, you can get a copy of Bhagavad Gita. It's much easier for you. Thank you, Sridhar Prabhu. Yes. Yeah, we can, but probably I was thinking probably from the next time we should do that. Yeah. Because I had one other bhajan that I wanted to sing. So it's another Narottam Das Thakur bhajan. Probably we'll put it up next time and we'll sing that. So it's a very nice bhajan too. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroh Shri Yutapadakammalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhayascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Matsamo nasti papatma naparadhi cha kaschana parihare pilajjame kim bhruve purushottama bhumau skalita padanam bhumireva valambanam tvai jata paradhanam tvameva sharanam prabho govinda vallabhe radhe prarthayet tvamaham sada tvadiyam iti janatu Govindo mam tvaya saha Radha radhita radhesha Radhika prana vallabha Radha ramana vandetvam Radhika prema nirjita Adadana danter Idam yache punah punah Srimad Rupa padam bhojo Dhulisyam janma janmani Rajoham syam bhave bhave Hare Krishna. Did anybody get the handout that I gave last class? Thank you. Thank you. It's okay. I did send the soft copies, but you don't need to. It's all right. It's not. The reason is how many devotees verses memorize the verse Anya Vilashita Shunyam. Thank you, Kuladvipa Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you. So, since others haven't, let's all repeat together. And because, as I said before, this verse is going to come in the exam. Usually I give hints saying that, might come, which gives me some wriggle room not to give that. And still, I'm in front of the deity, so I can't simply tell lies. So I can have a wriggle room like that, saying that it might come in the exam, but this will come in the exam. So kindly repeat after me. Anyabhilashita shunyam jnanakarmadhyanavritam anukulyena krishnano shilanam bhaktiruttama. Okay, Koladvip Prabhu, you lead, we'll follow. Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadhyanavritam anukulyena krishnano shilanam bhaktiruttama. And Aditya, if somebody asks you what is the definition of pure devotional service, what do you say? And we'll follow you. Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadhyanavritam anukulyena krishnano shilanam bhaktiruttama. And Gauravji, if somebody asks you, ISKCON ne aapko kya sikhaya? What did ISKCON teach you in the first place? And you will say, this is what you need to know. Please. Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadhyanavritam anukulyena krishnano shilanam bhaktiruttamam. Anybody wants to try? This is not the exam. So yes, two more hands. So I'll give Mataji's first and then you go with Sridhar. Yes, go ahead. Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadhyanavritam anukulyena krishnano shilanam bhaktiruttamam. Actually, can somebody give a copy to Brinda so that can somebody share so that she can follow the verse? Actually, it's. I sent out the soft copy. I'll send it out. At least you can look at the verse. Okay. Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadhyanavritam anukulyena krishnano shilanam bhaktiruttama. Thank you. Why are we discussing this verse? Somebody might say, Prabhu, you already wasted so much time making us repeat this verse. Why are you making us repeat this verse? We will go into it. Rupa Goswami, he gave, because we are here for pure devotional service to Krishna. But if you really don't know what pure devotional service is, then how can you discern for yourself, based on the authorized Guru Parampara, what is pure devotional service? And how can you defend your practice or definition of pure devotional service if you are not? You might say, well, this is just one verse. What is so important about this verse? And as we discuss today, then you will realize that it is a deep and very profound verse. Just like if you take a very compressed ball of cotton, which has been like compressed under very high pressure, and if you take the cotton out, the more you take out, the more comes. So Rupa Goswami has given this condensed definition of pure devotional service in this one verse. Okay? So let's now take some time to examine this verse. Let's go. What is Anyavilashita Shunyam? Or can you look up the word to word? It is there in the handout. If somebody can. Vrinda, what can you repeat word after word by word? Is there a word to word meaning in that? There's no word to word? Oh, that's okay. It should be there somewhere. Never mind. It's okay. You can take my word for it. If there is no word to word, you can take my word. It's the best use of bargain. It's mentioned by the famous saying, a blind uncle is better than no uncle. So a stupid teacher's words is better than no words. Third page, it's there. Excellent. All right. So Vrinda, you should tell us each word and its meaning. You can use the mic. Actually, you can tell me the first two lines. That's enough.
Okay. Anya Bilasita Sunyam, free from ulterior motive, and Anya other, Abhilasita integral desire, Sunyam wide.
Okay. And then second line. Jnana karma dhyanavritam. What does jnana karma anavritam means? Sridhar, you can go. You can help her, or you can take over. That's okay.
Jnana, philosophical speculation.
Okay.
Karma, ritualistic pursuits. Manavritam. Where is it? Adi, other pursuits. And that's it.
Okay. Avritam means what? Anavritam.
Anavritam.
Covered. It's open. Can anybody think of a verse that has this word avritam in it? Or something that is covered? Anavritam, I think avritam. Avritam is, no, it is covered. 3.30. Excellent. Can you please? That's fine. That's fine. At least we got up a verse for avritam. The first two lines. Okay, go ahead. All the excellent. Avritam is covered. Anavritam means not covered. Good. So the first two lines, the karma, jnana, adi, that Rupa Goswami gives more of a positive or a negative aspect that one should avoid. The pure devotional service, he says, shouldn't be covered by jnana and karma. And then, what do the last two lines? Can somebody look up the last two lines? Okay, it's there. Word to word dekh rahe. Sridhar, can you tell us the last? Okay, here, Mataji, please tell us. Do you have that word to word in front of you? Anukulyena Krishnanu Shilanam Bhaktiruttamam. Go ahead. Anukulyena means favorable. Okay. No. I wanted to know word to word. I am not asking. Okay. I want to reduce the confusion. You'll say, what is this? Even before telling us, you are asking questions about it. No. I just want word to word. What does Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam means?
Anukulyena is favorable.
Okay.
Krishna Anushilanam means cultivation of service in relationship to Krishna.
Okay.
Bhakti Uttama means first class devotional service.
Excellent. So first class devotional service is defined as something, a service rendered to Krishna which is favorable and which is free of any philosophical or materialistic or karmic pursuits. Right? So, let's read. No, we'll read a little later. The Acharyas have said that there are three qualities, primary qualities of pure devotional service and three secondary qualities. So, with the primary qualities is Swarupa Lakshana. It is called, the Sanskrit term exactly used is called Swarupa Lakshana. And then the second one, as Mataji said, is secondary characteristics are Tatastha Lakshana. The primary characteristics of pure devotional service is that it is anushilanam. What does the word sheel means? So let's take each word. Anushilanam. Shilanam means, what is Shilanam? Srila Prabhupada writes, Shilanam is a sort of cultivation. Now let's also read from the Nectar of Devotion. As we go through examining each word, let's read a little bit from Nectar of Devotion. In the interest, no, we can go. No, there is no interest of time, there is interest of devotion service. Page, introduction, page 21. For those who are not familiar with the Roman numerals, there will be a small x, and an I in the bottom. That will be page 21. That is the third page of the introduction. This is introduction, page 1, and there is page 2. This is introduction. Everybody there? Okay. I still see few. Those who are not there on this page, please raise their hand. The devotional service is a sort of cultivation. It is not simply inaction for people who like to be inactive or devote their time to silent meditation. There are many different methods for people who want this, but cultivation of Krishna consciousness is different. The particular word used by Srila Rupa Goswami in this connection is anushilana, or cultivation, following the predecessor acharyas. As soon as we say cultivation, we must refer to activity. Without activity, consciousness alone cannot help us. All activities may be divided into two classes. One class may be for achieving a certain goal, and the other may be for avoiding some unfavorable circumstance. In Sanskrit, these activities are called pravritti and nivritti, positive and negative action. There are many examples of negative action. For instance, a deceased person has to be cautious and take medicine in order to avoid some unfavorable illness. So the acharyas have mentioned the word shilanam or sheel as something that is cultivation, or something that's active, that is an activity. So devotional service is an activity. So
anushilanam would be like favorable cultivation. Would it be favorable cultivation?
Maybe we'll come there. We'll come to anushilanam. But let's just discuss the word shilanam for now. So here is the question. If somebody, Krishna says, what does Krishna say in the last words of the 9th chapter? Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuro mame vaishyasi satyam te pratijane priyosime. What does Krishna say? Always
think of me.
Where is the activity in thinking? Means if you think of Krishna, it's not pure devotional service, because you are not running around.
Thinking is an activity, bro.
Then what is this activity?
Thinking is an activity. It's a physical activity, it's a mental activity. It's an activity.
So those who are sweeping the temples are not pure devotees, because they are doing physical activity. They are not doing Krishna's exact word, always think of me. What is pure devotional service? Then what is the shilanam?
Falls in the category of 9 limbs of bhakti.
Falls in the category of 9 limbs of bhakti. And so the acharyas have said there are two types of shilanam. One is bhava rupa and one is cheshta rupa. Cheshta rupa is through active senses and bhava rupa is thinking. Because thinking is also a kind of activity. It's though mental, but nevertheless it's an activity for Krishna.
Would it be a mindful cultivation? Shilanam.
Mindful, yes. In the initial stages, yes, it will be mindful. But later on, when it goes on a spontaneous level, there is no mindful. For example, Mahaprabhu's mood when he was in Jagannath Puri, was it mindful or mindless? We shouldn't use the word mindless, but nevertheless, he was completely absorbed in thoughts of Krishna. And he was talking incoherently, and day and night his moods were fluctuating very wildly. These are all highest levels of devotion, complete absorption in Krishna. So mindful is applicable in the early stages. But after that, the bhakti takes, so it so transcends the mind that it takes its own form of devotion. So Srila Prabhupada also writes that it doesn't mean simply some sort of like emotion, some bhav, some heart. It doesn't happen like that. That's not bhakti. Initially it starts with practical service, both mental and with limbs. And that is what is mentioned, the word shil or shilanam is to cultivate. The more words used for shilanam is to act, to practice, worship, meditate. And so it is cheshta rupa is, cheshta for those who are familiar with Telugu is activity, practical activity, cheshta. And bhava rupa is mental. So bhakti is some sort of activity that everybody is kind of agreed upon. Yes or yes? Or anybody has a doubt? Good. All right, so shilanam is good. Now as Sridhar was saying, anushilanam. Why is the word anu added? Please understand, Rupa Goswami was an exemplary genius. And his words, every single word in that verse carries a very profound implication. And he gave a very concise, he gave a very unambiguous definition of what is devotion, so that nobody will be confused in 500 years later when we are sitting at ISV and when he was writing this particular verse, sitting in the beautiful land of Vrindavan, that nobody gets confused what is pure devotional service. So he added the prefix anushilanam. Now what does anushilanam mean?
Doing same thing again and again. Exercise.
Excellent. So doing the same thing again and again. Okay. And then you have a doubt, Gauravji. You are like, your eyebrows are like uneven, which means there is a question.
Anushilanam means following after, right? Anu.
So there are two meanings for anu. One is to repeatedly do, and one is to follow after. So both are right.
If you are following yourself, repeating.
No, anu means, Srila Prabhupada writes here, following the predecessor acharyas.
Anu implied
Yeah, previous acharyas. Implied. It's implied that you are following. Also, anu means every day. So you might say, how many rounds did you chant? I chanted 16 rounds this week. Next week, another 16 rounds. There is nothing wrong with that. I mean, like, you have to do regularly, right? The word is regularly. So the point anu here specifically refers to every day. Anu is continuously. In fact, Srila Prabhupada writes, pure devotional services every second, 24/7 thinking of Krishna. But at least in the sadhana stage, it is every day. So that is why we have the restriction of chanting 16 rounds every day. It's not a monthly or a yearly or a biannual thing. It is every single day. Anu Shilanam, pure devotional service. So that word anu is added. So it is serving every day. Who? Anyavila. So anukulyena Krishna. So we completed with the word anushilanam. Does anybody have doubts on what anushilanam means? Yes, Mamshi Mohan Prabhu.
What is the opposite of when we say this activity?
There are people who are on the online, so I mean it's okay. I can repeat for you also, but
When we say activity, bhakti is something activity. What is bhakti which is not an activity, or what is the opposite of that?
there is no bhakti without activity.
I mean,
that is what
like,
Rupa Goswami says.
I mean, like what is not bhakti? Like what Rupa Goswami is trying to say that something is not bhakti, like how do we understand?
Something which is not bhakti is comes in the second part, the secondary characteristics, covered by some motive. That is not pure devotion. Anything that doesn't fit in those three lines, anukulyena Krishna anushilanam, is not bhakti. Or not pure devotion. Please understand, here there are many types of bhakti. Rupa Goswami is precisely defining what uttama bhakti is, or what pure devotion service is. We are not after other forms of bhakti, mixed bhakti. We are here talking of pure devotional service. So anything that doesn't fit in that anukulyena Krishnanu, then it's not pure devotion. But we'll come to what exactly each terms are. So is that clear? Yes, Prabhuji. Any other questions on anushilanam? Okay. So we have to do bhakti. We have to do continuously. But bhakti for whom? Krishna. Anukulyena? Now here comes the question. Who or what is Krishna? How do you define Krishna? Only Krishna? So if you perform bhakti to Lord Ramchandra or to Narasimhadev, then you are not a pure devotee. Because Rupa Goswami says, it's very specific. One word, Krishna. How do you understand what is Krishna? We'll look up the answer here. Let's turn to the next page where we were. For those, we will be on the XXII page in the bottom. That is 22nd. Do you not have a copy, Koladip Prabhu? No, we can get one more copy. Yeah, there you go. Balram has it. There are two here. There are two there. Everybody has a copy? Yeah. It's mandatory, even husband and wife have a copy each. Usually there is a phrase that is called sharing is caring, dividing is caring. Okay, the last paragraph in the 22nd, Roman numerals. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, Lord Chaitanya states that it's a fortunate person who comes in contact with a bona fide spiritual master by the grace of Krishna. One who is serious about spiritual life is given by Krishna the intelligence to come in contact with a bona fide spiritual master. And then by the grace of spiritual master, one becomes advanced in Krishna consciousness. In this way, the whole jurisdiction of Krishna consciousness is directly under the spiritual energy, Krishna and the spiritual master. This has nothing to do with material world. When we speak of Krishna, we refer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead along with his many expansions. He is expanded by his plenary parts and parcels, his differentiated parts and parcels, and his different energies. Which brings up this point. So Krishna is what again? His expansions, his different energies, his plenary portions, and his differentiated part and parcels. So is material energy one of the energies of Krishna or not? Is material energy Krishna himself or not? But so if I am sitting in the bar drinking alcohol all day long, am I not becoming a pure devotee? Because I am serving Krishna, serving his material energy. Yeah. So again, please understand it's very, very, very precise definition. That is why I insisted that the devotees come for this first few classes. These are very foundational classes of Bhakti Sastri. What is Krishna? Is Krishna and his expansions. But, and if you see further, so he is expanded by his plenary parts and parcels, his differentiated parts and parcels, and his different energies. Krishna, in other words, means everything and includes everything. Generally, however, we should understand Krishna to mean Krishna and his personal expansions. Krishna expands himself as Baladev, Shankarshana, Vasudeva, Aniruddha, Pradyumna, Rama, Narsimha, and Varaha, as well as many other incarnations and innumerable Vishnu expansions. These are described in the Srimad Bhagavatam to be as numerous as the uncountable waves. So Krishna includes all such expansions as well as his. That is what Krishna means. So anushilanam, favorable activity rendered to Krishna, which is very limited definition of what Krishna is. Because Krishna again can mean too broad or it can mean too narrow. If it is too broad, which means I can drink beer all day long and be pure devotee. Which too narrow means, hey, you are Narasimha Dev's devotee. Rupa Goswami, Prabhupada said, only Krishna. You are like inferior devotee. It becomes too narrow. See this? Even worse, you are Radharani's devotee. Where is Radharani mentioned in this verse? So you see Krishna and his spiritual expansions and his pure devotees. So it is limited to that. But nevertheless, there is one thing though, which again brings up this point. I'll come to this. So if you just worship Prabhupada, he's a pure devotee. Is that pure devotional service? Okay, there is a yes and there is a no. So I need both. So you started with yes, you say yes, and then Maha will say why no.
Actually, when you are serving a pure devotee, he is helping you to go to Krishna. You don't have the ticket, you don't have the visa. So he will give you the knowledge so that you can approach Krishna. That's why we are doing Guru Puja every day. We are paying obeisances to Krishna, but we are chanting the Pranam mantra of our Guru Maharaj or Srila Prabhupada because we can approach through them. So if we don't worship them, we don't consider them as the proper representative of Krishna, and we don't give proper respect. Actually, as much respect as we give to Krishna, we should give to the spiritual master. And we don't have the right, or we don't have the proper qualification to reach Krishna.
Wonderful. And now let's take the other side of the aisle. Maha.
Hare Krishna. I think that what Prabhu said was very accurate, but I don't think worshipping Srila Prabhupada alone is enough, because Srila Prabhupada wouldn't be happy if you were worshipping him, because he does not want to be worshipped. He wants devotees to worship Krishna, and you definitely need to worship Srila Prabhupada to please Krishna, but Srila Prabhupada himself won't be pleased if you don't worship Krishna. And if Srila Prabhupada is displeased, then how are you going to please Krishna? So
thus both of you are right. Because yes, Prabhu, you had something to say, and then I'll continue mine.
If you are a devotee of Prabhupada, if you were worshipping Prabhupada, then you naturally worship his instructions as well, where he instructs you to worship Krishna.
Wonderful, wonderful. So the reason why pure devotees are mentioned, and actually it is a fact. You may say, let's not even bring it up. Because Srila Rupa Goswami says that whatever applies to Krishna applies to his pure devotees also, in most of the times in terms of the respect and the adoration that is given. Because the case in point, Srila Prabhupada, I think this was a story told by my Guru Maharaj, and he said that two devotees in New Vrindavan started making this propaganda that Prabhupada was Krishna himself. And he left New Vrindavan because, we committed some offenses, and then he's left, and they started doing a propaganda like that Prabhupada was Krishna himself and he came. Normally, the ordinarily Babas and Fakirs and Mahants and saints, they would be like, yes, just my followers. I never said I was God, but I'm never stopping my followers from saying I'm God too. Srila Prabhupada actually said you should leave this society because you didn't even understand what the basic philosophy was. So to worship his pure devotee without having the connection to Krishna is very offensive to the pure devotee. And so as everybody bought out, it's a yes and no. Yes, he can worship a pure devotee by worshipping not only his instructions, by worshipping, by understanding that he's the part and parcel of a confidential associate of Krishna who will never for a moment budge from the fact that everybody should surrender unto Krishna. If you worship like that, yes, but just in a very separated way, you see a pure devotee apart from Krishna, then that sort of worship is meaningless. So it depends on your state of consciousness. Same with the demigods. Lord Shiva, if you worship him independent as supreme God, even Shiva himself is not pleased. But if you worship him as the greatest of the Vaishnavas, he is very pleased, very happy, and he can give you the highest benediction. So it pretty much goes, that principle is universal in terms of Krishna and his pure devotees. They are non-different. They are one and same in terms of, kutastha. We learn in the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. We took the semester last time and we wrote, we saw the difference between the fallible and the infallible in the 15th chapter. So so does that help? Who is Krishna? And then when we say pure devotion, to whom do we render to? So pure devotion is only possible when you apply to Krishna, his expansions and his pure devotees. Otherwise it's not pure devotion. So that automatically excludes the worship of other demigods. But having said that, Rupa Goswami says in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, in the second wave, when we are in the first wave still. This is called Samanya Bhakti. Srila Rupa Goswami said it is Samanya Bhakti, is the Sanskrit term, but actually it's anything but Samanya. It is very Asamanya Bhakti. This pure devotion is very, very rare. So, in the second wave, we see one of the instructions he gives to the devotees to never disrespect the demigods. That doesn't mean you worship them, but you never. Rupa Goswami has given authorization to all the Vaishnavas to worship only one demigod.
The first chapter itself is written, do not disrespect the number of instructions that he has given.
First chapter?
First chapter, Nectar Devotion.
Okay. Where is it? Where in first chapter?
Okay, yeah, they actually page number 56.
56?
Yeah, not first chapter, sixth chapter.
Okay. So let's not jump ahead.
Yeah.
Let's not jump ahead. Okay. Krishna, the second term, Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam. So Abhishek had raised his hand. Yes, he said, thank you. He said, only demigod, Rupa Goswami asks all the Vaishnavas to worship before they do their bhakti is Ganesh. He said, you first one should offer prayers to Ganesh and then start their bhakti. So, Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam, we covered two of the three. Three primary characteristics of pure devotion. What is Anushilanam and what is Krishna? Thank you, Balaram. I was hoping more Krishna from others, but you didn't say it? Who said that? Thank you, Kumari Leela. Come on, Krishna. You 2 out of 3. Okay. Yes. Ashok Prabhu.
Prabhu, Hare Krishna. So my question was partly answered. So here it is saying in that same line that we read, so Krishna includes all such expansions as well as his pure devotees. So pure devotees are also an expansion of Krishna?
Yeah, so every one of us is an expansion of Krishna.
Yeah, we are on part and parcels, but pure devotees are like Krishna himself comes as pure devotee, or like how should we understand that?
So Krishna comes sometimes himself as a pure devotee, sometimes he sends his pure devotees. But the reason why we say is there is no difference between them in terms of the mission. They have only one purpose, to reclaim the fallen conditioned souls and kind of help them to go back home, back to Godhead.
Okay, Prabhu.
So in some cases, Gopakumar, his teacher, Jayanta, if I remember it, is it Jayanta? Yeah. His teacher was Vishnu himself, who came as a spiritual master. But sometimes he'll send Shukadeva Goswami. Shukadeva Goswami actually was a jiva, but an extremely advanced jiva. And he sent to deliver Maharaj Parikshit. So he can choose his ways on how you want. Sometimes he intervenes directly, sometimes he sends his pure devotees. But we don't see them any different in terms of the purity and the purpose by which they have come. Srila Prabhupada's purpose was the same as Krishna's. That's why he said, give me the same respect as God. You know the fact, right? He was like blasting all these people who said they are God and they are dogs and all that. He was like going heavy on that. Very heavy. Initially, should I tell the story a little bit?
Please, Prabhu.
So in 1965, he came to New York. First he came to Boston, he went to Butler, Pennsylvania, then he started preaching in New York. And when he was in 26 2nd Avenue, slowly a small group of interested disciples started coming. And then they started regularly hearing classes from him. And he was blasting people who say they are dogs, gods are dogs, and it was like on and on, you should surrender to Krishna, Krishna is the Supreme Lord. And everything kind of went. And then they were all convinced, yes, we are all servants of Krishna and Krishna is the Supreme Lord. And then nobody can be equal to Krishna. Then the day of initiation came. They said, they want to take initiation and they approached Prabhupada. And they were all enthusiastic. They went with bright faces to Prabhupada saying, we want to take initiation. And Prabhupada said, yes, you can give, these are all the rules and all that he mentioned. And then at the end he said, you should treat me as good as God. Everybody was like, till now you were saying how come you have become God now? They were confused. And then they went back and discussed. Prabhupada said we should treat him as God. Because at that time it was like question authority. Somehow he put in a lot of blood and effort to make these devotees convinced about, these people convinced about Krishna consciousness. And now he said that one statement which kind of again shook their faith. What do you mean? Does he become God and control us or what? And then they go back and ask Prabhupada, you said, what do you mean by this? And then he explained that because the spiritual master is in unison with Krishna, having the same purpose, you should give the same respect. Not that spiritual master becomes God. So there is always that differentiation in place. So he sends his expansions, but he empowers them to the same degree. One example I can give is the President of United States sends ambassador to other country with a specific mission. Does the ambassador get the same kind of respect as the president? Yeah. Same thing like that. So there is no difference in one sense. Does that answer your question?
Yes, Prabhu. And follow-up is, second question is, so some of the Krishna's expansions like Lord Venkateshwara, right? So if somebody is a pure devotee of Lord Venkateshwara, is that pure devotional service too?
Yeah, he is because one of the Vishnu expansions.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. More questions? Because this is something one needs to understand pretty clearly. Yes, Gauravji. Yes, sir.
Padma Puran, Lord Shiva says to Mother Parvati that Tasmat Parataram Devi Tadiyanam Samarthanam. So, as per Lord Shiva, he is recommending his worship of his devotee is better than Vishnu. But there he says Vishnu, not Krishna.
It's the same. Actually,
yeah.
we further in Rupa Goswami, he writes in the Nectar of Devotion, when the Bhakti Rasamrita, there is no difference between Vishnu and Krishna.
Yeah, actually, Sri Prabhupada has also mentioned Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, many times in the books also.
There is no difference. Really, there is no difference. Vishnu has the same power as Krishna. Krishna has the same power as Vishnu. The only difference that comes, Srila Rupa Goswami explains, and as we read in our Nectar of Devotion, is that in the Rasa Tattva comes, Krishna has extra characteristics that has the capacity to attract his devotees and enjoy that rasa or mellows with him. And the whole Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and Ujjwal Nilamani is just focused on that exchange of rasa between Krishna and his devotees. And why only Krishna? Because he has some special characteristics. The Supreme Lord can manifest his power in different ways. Obama, for example, when he goes to a school, does he take armies and fighter planes and nuclear bombs to go with him? But he goes to the school in a very gentle way to interact with kids. But he has to go talk to an enemy. Then he doesn't go with school children either. So the Lord can, please understand, Vishnu, Krishna is one. There is no difference. Even there is Vishnu and there is Krishna, still they are one. At the same time they are different. Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva comes from that understanding. It is that God is only one. From him comes many expansions who are not different from him. Purnavadha Purnavidam, that's one aspect. The other thing is, Vadanti Tat Tattvavidas Tattvam Yajnanam. What is the word used next?
Brahmeti. Brahmeti Paramatmati.
But before Brahman, what is it used? What does Advayam mean? That supreme truth is one. It's not a non-dual substance. Srila Prabhupada literally translates Dvayam means two or separated. Dvayam means one. And Srila Prabhupada translates it, it doesn't translate as one, because that can give our Mayavadi friends a lot of ammunition. God is one, I am one. No. Non-dual. See, the word is used. Non-dual. It's not dual. But it's not one. I'm not making up. Bhagavatam has that. Translation to the Prabhupada. Very carefully non-dual is used. That means Brahman is same as Paramatma, is same as Bhagavan, but different. Equal and different. Yeah. So you write two equations. Brahman equal to Paramatma equal to Bhagavan. Brahman is not equal to Paramatma. Both the axioms are true. Questions? More questions? Comments? Yes, Vamshi Mohan Prabhu. Are we going off tangent or are we still? That's no problem. We can have another Kupatino Bhakti Riksha here. And next year we'll take the exam. For those who get, that's okay. Don't get the joke, that's fine. Don't worry.
I had a question, Prabhuji, that one may be doing devotional service like as per favorably and also like activity. But if one is not in knowledge that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then is it will it be pure devotional service? Or and also connected to that, I think Parikshit Maharaj asks Sukadeva Goswami that residents of Vrindavan, they are not in knowledge of Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and but still it is pure devotional service. So how do we?
Yes, the answer to your first question is yes. Even if you don't have knowledge that Krishna is the Supreme and perform pure devotional service, it is perfectly okay, because it is said Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Janayatyashu Jnanam Chayad Ahitukim. So by performing pure devotion to Krishna, two things automatically come about in its own sweet way. One is Jnana and one is Vairagya. So that's okay. But if you can understand what pure devotion is and who Krishna is, and then do that, automatically you will get knowledge. Does that help your first question, Vamsi Mohan?
Yes, Prabhu.
The second question is the residents of Vrindavan. That's a whole topic for a whole other time. But I'll give you the summary. The residents of Vrindavan, as you rightly pointed out, did not know that Krishna was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And here is the best part. They did not want to know that he was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In fact, Uddhava comes to Vrindavan. Krishna sends Uddhava with a message. Krishna left Vrindavan, and the residents of Vrindavan were suffering severe pangs of separation from Krishna, that they were barely able to maintain their lives. And then Krishna was also feeling that intense separation from the devotees in Vrindavan when he was in Dwarka. So he sent Uddhava to go to Vrindavan. And Uddhava went to the Vrindavan. And then Uddhava was a Jnani Bhakta. He had a lot of knowledge. He was the disciple of Brihaspati. Thank you, Koladvip Prabhu. And he was widely knowledgeable. So much so that Krishna would consult him. Hey Uddhava, this is the problem, what should we do? And Uddhava was very sharp and very good counselor for Krishna, and he would give these kind of advices. And he relied on him. Uddhava was one of very dearmost. I don't remember the verse, but in 11th canto he says, neither Lakshmi nor Shiva nor Brahma is dear to me nor even myself is as dear to me as you are, O Uddhava. So he's a very exalted personality, and he goes to Vrindavan giving this message to console the devotees of Vrindavan. And Uddhava thinks, I have been very successful on every mission Krishna has sent me, and I have given him the perfect advice and served him very nicely. There should be no problem. After all, residents of Vrindavan are simple villagers. They don't know the sophisticated diplomacy and dealings of this, royal orders. Neither are they very cultured and educated, They will be like, wow, they'll just, and he was pretty confident, I'm so educated, I have no problems in kind of finding out. And he goes. And then he tells Nanda Maharaj, why are you lamenting that Krishna is not here? He is the super soul, he is present everywhere. And Nanda Maharaj says, Nanda Maharaj says, be as it may be, and he may be your God, but to me he is a son. And then after his stay in Vrindavan and seeing the extraordinary affection of the residents of Vrindavan to Krishna, Uddhava doesn't come back telling his mission is accomplished. He says, may I become a small blade of grass in Vrindavan so that these gopis who are walking every day in Vrindavan may trample upon me, and may I get the dust from their feet. So the residents of Vrindavan's rasa with Krishna is an extremely elevated platform, not found anywhere. That love that binds Krishna to Vrindavan is what makes Krishna declare that I never step a foot out of Vrindavan. I never take a step out of Vrindavan. In fact, it is said in Chaitanya Charitamrita that please understand that Krishna was so attracted to Vrindavan, even though when he left Vrindavan, every day it is mentioned that Krishna would come to Vrindavan, even when he was in Dwarka. But he wouldn't manifest himself before the residents of Vrindavan. They could perceive his presence, but they couldn't see him. So that's a whole topic. Sorry, I was supposed to give a short answer. Somebody should have told me. Hello, you are supposed to give a short answer. This is like a class. Huh? Thank you. Vrinda, you had any questions?
So last question only.
Yes.
Sorry.
No, there is no last question. Please keep asking. These next two classes, I'll ask Shamlangi Mataji, who is here. Please give a big round of applause for Shamlangi Mataji for being our Bhakti Sastri coordinator. And thank you. I wish Sudeep was here. and he is also going to do the homework. So I'm grateful that these two devotees are helping me, and I can take my time, read and explain, and worry less about administrative work. So thank you, Shamalangi Mataji. So I can ask her to move a couple of classes a little more, but I want to focus on what pure devotional service is. Still everybody is very comfortable with the concept and understands this particular shloka. It's very foundational, very, very, very foundational. Yes, so please go ahead.
My question was, if suppose somebody doesn't know who Krishna is, and they don't have any knowledge of Vedic scriptures or anything, but still they think that there must be some impersonal or personal, that also they don't know. So, and if they try to think or pray, so will that fall under pure devotional service, or is it something which is something else?
Please understand, how does one get devotion to Krishna? Okay. I'll take the devil's advocate. By mercy of Krishna or his pure devotees. Is that an acceptable statement? But Krishna himself says that I am partial. How can his mercy be impartial? He says, Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshti nacha priyaha. Yetumam. Yeah, so he says that those who serve me, I am a friend to them, they are friend to me. Implicitly he says, I give devotion. But how does it even start? So which is his partial, which means how can he give devotion to everybody? If that is the case, why is not everybody a devotee? Yes? Sir, Michael, I know, Prabhu. You are slowly becoming the voice of IS with your Kirtal Melos.
But he also says, Prabhu, yo yatha mam prapadyante tam tatha vajami aham. Basically, that is a policy statement. Is
yatha mam. Okay. Right. So that which shows Krishna's partiality. You approach me, I will approach you. Conditional.
No, आप जितना हमको as
वही अगर नहीं करेंगे तो नहीं देंगे.
But some basic benefits will he gives, right? Samoham sarvbhutesh.
हाँ वो तो देंगे. But the point here is that I mean I'm equal to everybody. I'm neutral. But then you come to me, I will come to you. But if you don't even know me, you will not come to me. So Krishna is partial. Then how does he get one? How does one get bhakti?
He only says he's favorably inclined towards his devotees, but he doesn't say he's partial.
But if you don't even tell me about yourself, how can I become your devotee, Krishna? So I am becoming partial then. You are waiting, making me wait. Hare Krishna. Yes, Balram. Anybody online wants to add to this interesting discussion? Balram had a point, and then Srinivas Koda in the back.
I think that because they don't really want to know Krishna, so he's actually like kind of giving them mercy that, okay, don't know me, I won't tell you anything about me.
Sure, okay. Srinivas Garu. You have to use the mic. I don't want to repeat your comments.
No, what I'm trying to say is like Krishna is not partial. So we want to forget Krishna. That's why we came here. So
thank you. This is a question rigged to fail, as Harivamsha Prabhu was telling. Basically, Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, he discusses this at length in his book called Madhurya Kadambini. He takes every argument and he kind of defeats that argument. And the end conclusion is that bhakti, you get bhakti with no cause. It's causeless. Because bhakti is independent, she can give bhakti to anybody whom she favors. Of course, the mercy of Krishna should be there, but bhakti in of itself is independent. And because when we go out on book distribution, and it's not like we are like hoping that a person might become. Because bhakti, you never know how she favors a particular jiva. So we go and give a try. That's all when we do preaching activities. So what was the question by which I came to this answer? No, but before that, what was the question?
My question was, if somebody did not have any knowledge of Vedas or Krishna,
yes,
and have some vague conception of God, maybe
so Bhakti Devi is independent. She can give to anybody. And Krishna gives many, many statements in Bhagavatam. It's one of the Bhakti Vaibhava tests, questions we were asked to memorize was, there is a verse called Kirata Hunandra Pulinda Pulkasha. Anybody heard of that verse? So basically that verse says that any of these people born in any quote-unquote inferior classes are still purified by the grace of Krishna. Which means bhakti is so powerful that it can act on any of these people without prerequisites. And that's what we learn also in Nectar of Devotion. So we as missionary people try to preach to Krishna about others, and whether they take up or not is up to them. That we don't have control over. So, though there is an endeavor by the devotee, it's ultimately Krishna in the form of bhakti who gives mercy to that devotee, they can get bhakti without even the knowledge of Vedas. Otherwise, Bhagavatam, Kirata Hunandra Pulinda Pulkasha, he lists out the specific races, and Prabhupada gives in the purport what those races are. For Kasadaya is like Chinese, like Mongols. Imagine having Mongols reading Vedas. They will never read Vedas. Then what's the point? Will they ever be delivered? How? But the power of bhakti is such that it can be implanted in anybody's heart and can help deliver anyone. So when you go on book distribution, if you go or do other form of preaching activities, you never know whose heart you are planting the seed and how it will take shape. Helps?
I'm a little confused, probably.
Okay, please, let's clear the confusion.
If suppose somebody we have our conception of devotional activities, right? Like chanting or worshipping. If somebody doesn't have that conception, is it necessary to do it in that way, or is there any even thinking of some supreme concept like God as some concept? Is that also devotional service if somebody has no conception of Vedas or anything?
Okay, please understand that everybody is having bhakti. Everybody has bhakti. Some may have bhakti towards rock stars, film stars, sports persons, business magnates, or to their wives, children, dogs, cats. There is bhakti in everybody. Quote unquote bhakti. But the point here is, where are you placing that so-called bhakti? And if it is directed towards Krishna, then it becomes devotion. And the goal of the devotee is to help others to direct that goal. Even in the beginning, they don't have an idea, but because of the past pious sukriti or because of some good fortune, they might at least come to the conclusion, yes, Krishna is God. But otherwise, there is devotion, but there is mixed devotion. People worship different faiths, like different Islam, Christian, Muslim, whatever. And then there is also, even amongst Hindus, there is Shiva, there are so many gods. And then there is Brahman, Paramatma, God. There's so many varieties of bhakti. What bhakti are you talking about? And then there is the material devotion to job, material devotion to dog, whatever. So when we talk of pure devotion, we are talking of to Krishna for this specific, the whole platform is pure devotion right here. Not all these lower modes of devotion, which either lead to karma or jnana, or the yoga ladder which we discussed about in the Bhakti Sastri. Does that help?
Sure.
Yeah, so here we are pure on the platform of what is pure devotion. And what do you mean by pure devotion? Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, she had a question and then a couple of hands in the back. Kumari Leela Mataji. Hare Krishna.
So Prabhu, here when we mention the bhakti, everyone has some bhakti, and when they get an opportunity, we never know at what point they will pick it up and their bhakti will fructify. But to understand better about the pure devotional service, so is there also a chance of having the free will at some point? Because as said, like everyone has a bhakti. When we go on book distribution, everyone has a chance to take a book, but not everyone takes it. It's a matter of free will.
Correct.
If they're interested, then only they will take it. So what about in sense of the pure devotional service?
Free will is always there. Even in when a devotee is in pure devotion and when you want to serve Krishna, it is not you are serving out of force. You are serving out of a will to serve. So, the free will always exists even in pure devotional service. But that free will is completely directed toward Krishna. And at one stage, in the advanced stages of devotion, that free will, the devotee voluntarily gives it to Krishna. Manasa deho geho jo kichumor, arpilo tuya pade nanda kishor. It's a voluntarily offering of oneself. Dainya atma nivedana gopritva. So you offer your very essence of yourself to Krishna, and Krishna says, okay, I'll take charge. Now, all these years you have forgotten that you are mine, and now that you have realized it and accepted it, then I'll take charge. So till that point, there is always this free will. There is always this, okay, how much more I should go towards Krishna, and Krishna is waiting, how much you want to come. Ye yatha mam prapadyanti. But having said that, Mahaprabhu is not even ye yatha mam prapadyanti. He said, even those who are unfit, he gave the highest devotion. So he didn't give any restriction, any condition. Just freely he said, please take it. So that's why Mahaprabhu is the most beneficent, Mahavadanya. Does that help? Thank you. Yes, Ashok and then Srinivas.
So Prabhuji, is devotion coming from Krishna or from his pure devotees or from the desire of the person who wants to get devotion? And going back to Vamshi Mohan's Prabhu's question as well. So what if somebody does not know who Krishna is, they are born in somewhere, in a corner of China somewhere, right? So they never heard of it, and they never heard of bhakti, they never heard of anything like this. So they do not know that there is a desire like this too. So what is the cause of this? Is it Krishna's mercy, or is devotee's mercy, or the free will or the desire of that particular person?
Shall I give you a very simple, crystal clear, straight answer? It's all and none. Please understand that today if we are getting, the mercy of Krishna is always in the front, but his mercy can take many different forms. But nevertheless, we are sitting here today reading. What are we reading? And then who wrote this book? Okay, who asked Srila Rupa Goswami to write that? So by his mercy, we are sitting here reading Nectar of Devotion. So he said he came in this age of Kali to give special benediction to inundate this world with Krishna Prem and Krishna Bhakti. And because of his mercy, because of his desire, all this is happening. So in that sense, yes, it's Mahaprabhu's mercy. But there is always the free will, as Kumari was pointing out, that there is a free will whether I want to take it or not.
But some people doesn't even know that.
That is fine. Krishna is Paramatma sitting in everybody's heart. If they have that smallest desire, actually, God, where are you? And who are you? And then you worship them, then Krishna will automatically give them benefits. Why do you think that they are bereft of Paramatma's presence in their heart? An ant and virus and trees and plants have Paramatma sitting in the... Krishna is spread everywhere. He is control of everything. So While your compassionate nature is very much laudable, that you are thinking of all these people, it's just a matter of time. Even right now, as we speak in China, we have so many programs going on, devotees going on. Mongolia, Indradyumna Maharaj sent his Facebook post that he initiated people in Mongolia. So by Mahaprabhu's mercy, this is really expanding to places where we never knew it was possible, or even even thinking about it. So it will happen. Keep up your compassionate nature. Mahaprabhu will also, help you. Oh, okay. Yes, go ahead. We are going off tangent though, so I warn you, you will be sitting for extra classes. Yes, Srinivas and then Kumari. Because right now that's a difficult topic to deal with.
Prabhu, if you are devoted or if you are serving all Krishna's expansions, it is pure devotional service. So if that is the case, and if you accept Buddha as incarnation of Krishna, serving Buddha is a pure devotional service?
Yes, but Rupa Goswami qualifies. Rupa Goswami says in Laghu Bhagavatamrita that because Buddha came with a specific purpose, he came with a specific purpose to appease the so-called atheists who were abusing the religion. By serving him, yes, you will get benefit, but for Vaishnavas, it is recommended that you don't have to worship Buddha. There is a special exemption. Good you brought it up, because it's mentioned here also in Nectar of Devotion. Buddha is a special incarnation who came for a specific purpose. And from where did Vedas come? Okay. So you said Buddha is an expansion of Vishnu. No, you just said. You said, right? Then what did he teach? There are no Vedas. I reject the authority of Vedas. Yes. So, would you follow? There was a special class to whom he came for. And those who follow Buddha, at least they are benefited. There is no doubt about it, because they become non-violent. At least though Buddhists, strict Buddhists, they don't even eat onion garlic. You know that? Jains, even some Buddhists, Tibetan Buddhists and other places, they don't eat onion garlic. Exactly. As if like all the Brahmins in India are pure, they never even let's not get there. But the point of the matter is that at least those who follow strictly the Buddha, they are at least vegetarians, and they are going to go in the mode of goodness.
So is that what we should?
It is mentioned somewhere here in Nectar of Devotion or in Laghu Bhagavatamrita. I can look it up. Rupa Goswami himself qualifies.
Since my understanding was Buddha is avatar, but
he's an avatar.
If it is question like this, I want to confirm, like, is Buddha considered to be avatar of Krishna?
Yes.
Dasavatar is part of Dasavatar.
Yes. Bhagavatam is so clear. In the list of the avatars, Buddha is mentioned twice. Once in the first canto, once in the second canto. So there is no doubt about it. But he came for a very specific purpose. Because Buddha said, his ultimate philosophy was voidism, shunyavadi.
But Krishna Anukulya means that Anyavilashatale, Krishna Anukulya, but he is excluded from that Krishna expansion.
Yes, according to Rupa Goswami. You are following, not my words.
Yes.
Yes. No, she had a question.
I just have a comment.
Okay, please, and then no. Go ahead.
I just wanted to make a comment in regards to if anybody at the remote place and they don't have any connection to the Krishna, but I think any of the remote place in this world, at least they have some sense of that they are looking for some help from someone, and they just pray themselves like, help me, and they ended up meeting some devotees, and some way or other they are ending up getting the books, and receiving the Prabhupada's books is nothing less than the receiving the Krishna's mercy.
Correct.
So I think it's pretty clear on that.
Thank you. Sri Lalita Mataji and then Balram.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
So there is an ashram called Ananda Ashram in Palo Alto. They had a retreat done, and so we went there. So it's a meditation retreat, and they worship. It's a part of that one. They worship like Lord Buddha, and they put like Buddha came here to give the peace. Buddha is peace. That's why, when you are doing meditation, if you are worshipping Buddha, means you are worshipping peace.
Right.
So that's what they said. But is that true, or are they doing something completely different?
Well, Buddha's philosophy is nirvana, which means freedom from all this material world and thoughts. So you control your thoughts, you control your, empty all the thoughts from your mind, and you are free from all desires and attachments. And of course, you will get a little bit of peace. But when you serve Krishna, instead of just becoming a void or removing all the thoughts from the mind, you think of Krishna, which is the proper way. Because it's very hard just to empty your mind of thoughts. Try that exercise. You go home, sit for a minute, completely empty your mind of all the thoughts. Yeah, you'll be thinking how to empty all the thoughts. And you'll be thinking what all thoughts came. And you'll be thinking, what different thoughts came. At the end of the thing, you'll realize I've been thinking for one whole minute instead of emptying even a single thought. So the positive thing is to think of Krishna, his beautiful features, his garland, his pastimes, his extremely sweet attributes, and the mind is so pacified and so at peace. So it's a better positive alternative. Buddhists say, most of the other philosophies, everything is like negative. Everything is like binding, everything is like negative, sad. If you get freed of attachments, you will get peace. But there is no positive connection to the whole thing. You said everything is no. What is yes? This is so. Here in Rupa Goswami said yes is all Krishna. No, all these few things. At least there is balanced out. Okay, we still have to come to the third of the. Anyways, go ahead. Yeah.
I just noticed that if you read dog backwards, it's God.
Yeah. Thank you, Kumari Mataji. All right, more questions, comments. Okay, what are the three primary characteristics of pure devotional service? Anushilanam, thank you. Krishna, thank you. No. Chilanam is already told, Anuchilanam. Who said that? Anukulyena. Thank you. Anukulyena. So, did we cover Anushilanam? Sheel means act, both mentally and physically. And Anushilanam means to act under the guidance of predecessor acharyas and also to be acting continuously. And then Krishna, we defined who is Krishna. Krishna is incarnations with one exception, as we just mentioned, and is pure devotees. That is the object. Now, you had a question? Okay. So, then the third verse is Anukulyena. Hare Krishna, welcome, thank you for coming. Anukulyena. What does Anukulyena means? Favorable. Here is the question. Anukulyena means favorable activities. So, when Krishna was being fed laddus by Mother Yashoda and gopis, was he happy? So that is pure devotional service. Anything you do that pleases Krishna, that becomes pure devotional service. Yes? Anybody says no to that? Raise their hands. Okay, there is one no. We'll come back to the no. Varaha, when he fought with Hiranyaksha, and he shot his arrows. Or Lord Bhishma, or Bhishma Dev, when he shot his arrows against Krishna, it is said Krishna felt as pleasing as flowers striking his body. Krishna was very pleased. So, Hiranyaksha is a pure devotee because his act pleased Krishna. Bhava is different. Okay. You raised a hand saying it's no. You are the lone dissent voice. Yes, please give him a mic.
Brahma Samhita, Yam Krodha Kama Sahajad.
Apranayadi Bhitiya.
Vatsalya Moha Guru Gaurava Sevya Bhavo. Sanchinta Tasya Sadrisham Tanu Aparete. Govindamadi Purusham Tam Ham Bhajam.
Okay. So as you meditate on Krishna, then you get your ornaments. That's the verse that says, right? Based on your mood of meditation for Krishna, then you get your ornaments, your possessions and all that, right? Which bhava you think of?
Yam Krodha.
Yam Krodha Kama Sahaja Pranayadi Bhiti.
So, Krodha is not Anukul.
Krodha is not Anukul. I see. Okay. Thank you. Once Krishna had neglected Radharani for many days. She became very angry. In fact, he tried to approach her. She told her Sakhis, just turn him away. I don't want to face Krishna. Radharani is not a pure devotee because Krodha. Another thing. We know the story of Damodar pastime. Yes or yes? What did Mother Yashoda do? Krishna. No. Okay, before that, she was feeding Krishna. And then she saw the milk was? What did she do? She put Krishna on the floor, went to tend the milk. It is mentioned in Bhagavatam, Krishna became angry. He bit his lips, his teeth became tight because she was feeding me and she left me and she went to take off this milk. Mother Yashoda is not a pure devotee of Krishna. Because she displeased Krishna. How you are feeding Krishna and then you leave him go? How can you be a pure devotee? You are not a pure devotee. Look at Kamsa, he is a pure devotee. 24/7 he was thinking of Krishna. Sleeping, eating, walking, anything he was thinking of Krishna. Who's a bada devotee? Who is there in this world? Nobody is there. So what is anukulyana? What is favorable? So let me ask that question again. By performing acts which is pleasing to Krishna, you render pure devotional service. If anybody is saying yes to that, please raise the hand. If I perform some act and it pleases Krishna, then that is pure devotional service. Arre Bapre. Okay, Mother Yashoda is not a pure devotee because her performed an act and displeased Krishna. Hiranyaksha fought with Krishna and it pleased him because he was enjoying fighting with Hiranyaksha. That is why I asked you to come. These foundational principles are needed to understand. You get it. You get it now. Hiranyaksha was fighting and with Varaha, and Varaha was really enjoying that fight. He was pleased with fighting the demons. The demons, Jaya and Vijay, when they fell down, one of the goals of Lord Vishnu was to enjoy fighting. And the demons, when they fell down, each of them fought with the Lord.
So they were actually doing service to Krishna.
But in what mentality? from the external perspective. That means, let me be a Kamsa. I am serving Krishna. So see how we can twist the meaning out of this. My act which pleases Krishna is pure devotion. By that stretch, Yashoda is not a pure devotee. Her act did not please Krishna, it angered Krishna. He was furious. How can Mother Yashoda put me here? Yes, Balram, I'll come to you. So let me repeat that question again. Any act a person does and Krishna is pleased is pure devotion. Anukulyena, favorable. So Kamsa is a pure devotee. Hiranyaksha is a pure devotee. Mother Yashoda is not a pure devotee because her act didn't please Krishna. Yeah, but any act, so Mother Yashoda is not a pure devotee. Any act, because her act did not please Krishna. I answer my question in yes or no. Don't try to twist the question. You are not yet there. Any act which pleases Krishna is an act of pure devotion, is a no, because of the fact that Krishna might be pleased, but what is the intention of the performer? Anukulyena means done with a favorable intention and no hostility on the part of the performer. It's an extremely important and subtle difference. Mother Yashoda, yes, ultimately her act was to please Krishna, but her immediate thing did not please Krishna, but she is a pure devotee because her act was always favorable. Her intention was always favorable, and she was always looking at Krishna with a favorable mood of service. That gives rise to the fact that sometimes the reciprocation of Krishna with his pure devotees might not be the way they expect, but yet they never give up being favorably attached to Krishna. The gopis of Vrindavan, when Krishna left them, went to Dwarka, Radharani said, I want to forget this cheat who cheated us. Still I can't forget him. So that is the nature of pure devotional service. The intention never changes. Good comes, bad comes. Krishna is one day giving you the highest bliss, the third day plunging you into the deepest of hell. You always remain with a favorable attitude, and that is pure devotional service. Anukulyena. Anukulya just means favorable, but Rupa Goswami used anukulyena, means the intentions are always favorable. The immediate results might not be. Might not be. But that does not matter. Is it clear? Anukulyena. Wait, I didn't complete. If I open the door, the dam will open and the flood will open. So that is why Anukulyena it can't be too broad. Neither can be a too narrow definition. Because when you say acts that please Krishna is a too broad a definition. That includes Hiranyaksha and other demons who fought with Krishna. And the acts which say only pleasing Krishna means Mother Yashoda did not please Krishna when she actually put him down and went to save the milk that was being boiled. So Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur gives the broad definition is no hostility on the part of the performer, and it's always favorable. Krishna we always look upon with Krishna with love, no matter what. So that is favorable, anukuliyana. Balaram, you had a question? No? Okay, wait. Any other point I wanted to cover? Because it's almost 3:45 and I don't know when will Vaisesika Prabhu come, so I wanted to cover all the points. At least the first half. We have the whole jnana, anyabhilashada shunyam, that is a whole class next time. We just covered the 2 lines in this class. Favorable intentions, pleasing to Krishna, comes Yashoda, we did that. Okay. So no hostility on the part of the performer and performed with a pleasing attitude. That is anukuliyana. Anybody has any questions? So I'll repeat the question, I'll ask the question for the last time. Any act that pleases Krishna is pure devotional service. Thank you. No. Unless it is done with an intention of favorable, no hostility, and with a favorable attitude in the heart of devotees. So the reason is, if you are seeking the platform of pure devotion and that's what you hear of, at least you should know what is pure devotion, what is not pure devotion. Then you will be able to be firmly situated in trying to get pure devotional service to Krishna. Okay, questions? Yes, Satya.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So for the example that you said, when Radharani was displeased with Krishna, she did not even want to say, connecting the dots to whether Krishna gives you utmost importance or whether he puts you in hell. Irrespective of that, the devotee should be always in a mood to please Krishna. So when Radharani says, okay, I don't want to see Krishna even, so is her what is her actual intention? Like, I mean, is it actually
Chaitanya Charitamrita mentions when the gopis chastise Krishna with harsh words, he gets more pleasure than the Brahmans reciting Vedic hymns. Because it is the rasa of the Lord and his devotees, and knowing that his pure devotees always are favorable to him, he is willing. He becomes a toy in their hands. He becomes a subordinate to them. That is the highest expression, because Krishna is the supreme absolute truth, and when he interacts with Jiva on the same level, then it's a whole other dimension of spiritual ecstasies that the devotee feels and Krishna feels. When Radharani chastises, Krishna is internally very happy. Externally he may not show. Same way Radharani is very pining from inside. Oh, I said no to Krishna. But that's a topic for a whole other class, for a whole other universe and a whole other platform. Makes sense. Please understand that we are just inching towards pure devotion. Now, we are just in the beginning stage of Nectar of Devotion, and we are just going to go up till the 19 chapters, which is the prema, and then the dynamics of prema actually happens in the southern part. So all those emotions that you are talking about, they happen on that spiritual platform of love, which is very, very different from the dynamics of this so-called love in the material world. Does that a little bit answer your question?
Similarly, if Krishna is displeased, that could also mean pure devotion depending on the intention of the performer.
Yeah.
In this example.
Yes, Mother Yashoda's example was there, right?
Thank you.
But yeah, thank you. And the beauty is that Krishna felt that Mother Yashoda left me even though I am hungry. And that supreme absolute truth feeds millions of innumerable number of beings. He is feeling hungry. Just think about that, that esoteric truth there. Is that? Yes.
Prabhu, you said here the no hostility in the part of the performer, right? So what should be the intention of the performer? Like, we are doing chanting, we are doing all these, and we are in the material world. So what should be our right intention when we are actually doing devotional service or praying to Krishna Like what should be the right intention? Or what is favorable intention and what is unfavorable intention from our part at this stage?
Did we hear the story of Maharaj Parikshit? The first canto of Bhagavatam. We hear the story of how he was cursed by Shringi, whose father was. And what did Maharaj Parikshit do? He took a snake and when Shringi cursed Maharaj Parikshit, did he prepare the army and go and kill Shringi? Or he just said, okay, let me destroy this whole forest. Please understand, at that time, they did not need permission from anybody. They were judiciary, executive, and everything included in one. If they said this person has to be killed, he will be killed. No two questions asked. That he was capable of doing that. The second thing Bhagavatam says, he could have just counteracted the curse. That boy cursed me. May I curse that curse never takes effect. It could have worked. Because he was a Bhagavatottama, he was the topmost devotee of Krishna. But what was his reaction? He said, actually he had misgivings. As soon as he put that dead snake around Shamik Rishi, he said, why did I do that? Maybe that sage was genuinely doing a meditation. And he was feeling guilt and regret. And when he heard that this Brahman boy, who's an immature and completely childish way of doing things, cursed this exalted devotee, he said, this is very good. This curse has come. And actually before he went, he said, because I insulted a Brahmana by putting a dead snake around his neck, I will expect some negative reactions. And he said, may it come quickly, so that these hostile way of dealing with Brahmanas may never again come in my heart. And when it came, he said, this is very good. I'm so happy that it has happened. So our reaction should be like that, Maharaj Parikshit. He didn't say, God, I worshipped you all these years. I gave so much of charity. I'm just young, I just have everything. You are taking it away like this. This is not fair. I serve you, you serve me by keeping me safe. You won't say serve, but you will say, essentially that's the bottom line. You don't want to say the word serve. So our attitude is, this is good. And please understand that you might say Krishna is cruel, but no. Bhagavatam was spoken. And Maharaj Parikshit was just liberated. He was just enjoying the nectar. He sent Shukdev Goswami. So everything turns out auspicious if our attitude is favorable. One of the most profound statements Srila Prabhupada writes in the preface of Nectar of Devotion, he says, advancement in Krishna consciousness depends on the attitude of the follower. It's mentioned in the preface. It's a very profound statement. We can't change what's going on outside, but we can always be working on our attitude. If we don't have that, let's pray to Krishna. May my attitude be always favorable to you. Wherever I go in this world, wherever you put me. And then that's where Maharaj Parikshit says, in the first canto, 19th chapter, he says, O Lord, by your mercy, wherever I go, may I be having three things. Punascha bhuyat bhagavatyanante rati prasanga chatadashrayeshu mahatsu yam upayami srishtim maitrastru sarvatra namo dhijebhya. He says that wherever I go, by your mercy, may I always be attached to your pastimes, may I have the shelter of your devotees, and may I have friendly living entities, friendly relationship with all the living entities. So if my attitude is like Maharaj Parikshit, then that is mentioned in Bhagavatam as being a Bhagavatottama. He was like the topmost of the devotees because of his attitude. And it shines forth in the time of crisis, how they take it. Does that answer your question? Sorry, I'm getting expert at long answers. Forgive me. Yes, Kuladvipa Prabhu.
The verse we are reading here on Avilasita Shundam, doesn't it applicable for the neophyte level, sadhana level bhaktis, because the Mahabhagavatas you were discussing, Yashoda Maya or Radharani, they are in such a stage, like whatever they do, that pleases Krishna. We just cannot, compare ourselves with that. Like, they are in that mood, they are being angry with Krishna. Because it's in Chaitanya Chaitamrita also says, like, Vaishnava Kriya Karma. Bigyan hai bujhe, when intelligent person cannot perceive the, motive of the activities of the Vaishnavas. So, should we, like, compare this with, like, our stage? Because...
No, at least our attitude should be favorable. Second thing is, if Rupa Goswami was thinking that everybody is capable of, right from the sadhana stage, he wouldn't have given so many rules and regulations. We read from the second chapter on, there are 64 rules and regulations of deity worship, do's and don'ts and do's and don'ts. There are quite few. So we, in the sadhana stage, we of course don't take liberty and play loose with those kind of rules. But nevertheless, our attitude remains. So here is one example. If I have a really bad habit, and that is really deep-rooted in me, there are 3 or 4 responses to that situation. One thing is, Krishna consciousness is bogus. Your mind says this is useless because it's too high, it's too impractical, or maybe it doesn't work. That's one attitude. The second attitude is, you try to work on the problem. Saying that yes, there is a high standard of devotion. Radharani and Yashoda, they are emblems of devotion. That we don't actually never try to be them. We try to aspire in their footsteps. Because nobody can be Radharani. And Krishna can't be Radharani. He had to borrow something from Radharani to become Mahaprabhu. So nobody can be Radharani. The point here is, what is my own attitude? So I can say, Krishna, I have this really, deep faults in mind. So please help me overcome them. May in spite of having so many faults in me, may my pure devotion come in my heart. And that is the fervent cry of all the acharyas, that I'm so fallen. Though they are exalted, they say I'm so fallen. Why is that? Because as you move in pure devotion, you really don't think yourself as Radharani and start going in saris, men. It has happened. Seriously, Vrinda. One guy in India, he thought he was Radharani and was dressing as a woman and going to his work. And he was the chief of the police. And there's also falling to follow with Annavilashita Shunyam. Annavilashita Shunyam, wo nahi hai. So my point here is that, what was the point? Exactly. We follow in their footsteps. We say, Krishna, I have all these negative habits, negative faults in me, so please help me overcome them and let me become a pure devotee. There are 2 types of pure devotees. Those who are actually on that platform and those who aspire for that platform. There are 2 things. So just because I am not yet on that stage doesn't disqualify me from being pure devotee as long as my motives are in line with what Rupa Goswami says here. Is that clear? So there is hope. Otherwise, why would he write for us? See, he talks of pure devotion. Tum log sab bekar ho. You are not fit. Then why read? What do we get out of it? More depression? They are there. We are reading this. What is the point? But ignorance is bliss. Let's not read Nectar of Devotion. More and more depression. But that's not the goal. He gave a very gradual step, to reach to that position and platform. So we just completed the first half of which verse? Anya vilashita shunyam ज्ञानकर्माद्यनावृतम् अनुकूल्येन कृष्णानु शीलनं bhaktiruttamam. So we just covered the 2 lines, second half of that. For the next class, we will do the other part, which is the secondary characteristics of bhakti, pure devotion to Krishna. Any questions? Any final questions? I think Vaisesika Prabhu is here. So yes, Gauravji, go ahead. Go ahead. No.
Prabhuji, I heard that, is it not true, yen ken prakarena mana Krishna niveshaya? So it doesn't matter what tool or mood or intention you apply.
Yeah.
But you have to invest your mind in Krishna.
Yes.
So then that means it is contradictory to this shloka, right?
Okay, it is contradictory. How? Please explain. How is it contradictory? You are on a very high platform. अरे आप मेरे प्लेटफॉर्म पे आके बात करो प्रभु. नहीं आप करो. I didn't mean to. आप क्वेश्चन पूछो. आपने श्लोक तो दिया, लेकिन आपका वो श्लोक का जो क्वेश्चन फॉलो अप है वो मैं समझ नहीं पाया. ऑनेस्टली बोल रहा हूँ आपको. डीटी के सामने हूँ यार, और क्लास के आगे आपको क्यों मैं बुक रहा हूँ.
प्रभु जी, my question was again and again anukulyena Krishna anushilanam is stressed. But Narad Muni explains to Yudhishthira Maharaj in Rajaswaya Yagya that when Shishupal's what happens, that Lord doesn't care what your intention is actually.
True. That is true.
So then how to reconcile that? Maybe another time.
No, okay, I'll give the gist. Did everybody understand the question? Okay. There is a verse in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu which says, Yena tena prakarena, somehow or other, if you can think of Krishna, then you are successful. And then he goes on to say, Narada says that many people have attained Krishna by many means. For example, Shishupal through his constant hatred, or through constant hostility towards Krishna. And then Kamsa through constant thinking of Krishna. The gopis through their love for Krishna. Everybody attached Krishna. So Gaurav Prabhu's very good question actually is, these seem to be contradictory. Means people have attained Krishna one way or other. Then why are you using this word favorable? Did you get the question? सर जी, मैं आपको क्वेश्चन पूछा इसके लिए क्योंकि मैं समझ नहीं पाया, कोई नहीं समझ पाए, तो इसके लिए एटलीस्ट नए भी तो इसलिए बुरा मत मानिएगा. दैट्स ऑल. Please understand that favorable intention towards Krishna leads to a different result than the hostile. Whoever were killed by Krishna, they got liberation, but most of them got impersonal liberation. So Putana, by that sense, should have been a pure devotee of Krishna, because she served Krishna. Krishna liked to suck. But the point is, her intention was completely hostile, and it is said by Uddhava in the 3rd canto, Aho bakiyam sthanakala kutam. It is said, Aho bakiyam sthanakala kutam jigam shayada papaya tapya sadvi lebhe gatim datruchitam tatonyam kamva dayalum sharanam vrajema. Remembering the great magnanimous nature of Krishna, he says, Putana came to kill you. Her breasts were smeared with deadly poison, Kala Kutam. And yet you gave her the position of your mother. Oh Krishna, who is more merciful than a master than you? So, but the fact Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains on that verse is that they did not get the same position as Mother Yashoda. So, kaise bhi karke, if you can remember Krishna, that is to your benefit. But what you get out of it depends on your intention. Reconcile? All right, more questions, comments. Vaisesika Prabhu is still not here. Vamshi Mohan Prabhu, thank you. You are scintillating today with your questions. I am grateful.
Sorry.
Usually you are very quiet, so I am very happy. At least whatever I'm saying makes some sense to you.
I have one question. If suppose somebody is, say like in Harinam, somebody doesn't have intention of pleasing Krishna, but they do some devotional acts. Is that considered an act of devotional service? Or
not pure. It's a devotion. That's what yena tena prakarena. If you somehow touch a book of Krishna, if you touch Bhagavad Gita, if you read Bhagavad Gita, look at Bhagavad Gita, hear the holy name somehow unconsciously, they all act. And the act of devotion begins whether you kind of voluntarily take it or not. But after that, whether you take it out voluntarily, whether what sort of attitudes you cultivate is upon you. So that's why there is some tangible benefit by doing all this. In fact, for those who want to know, 6th canto of Bhagavatam, the story of Ajamil, it is said how powerful is the holy name. Even if you just say the holy name jokingly or out of derision, like teasing somebody or what the Hare Krishnas, or like Hare Krishna, you're chanting Hare Krishna, we still acts. The holy name is that powerful and that merciful.
Just follow up to that, Prabhuji.
Yes.
If
yes.
I forgot the question.
Take a couple of seconds, we can remember it. Or you can write it down, we can, next class.
I'll
next
ask
class. Anyway, because we still are going to continue on this theme.
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you. Please remember that question though. Really, I'm grateful that you asked the questions because we are going deeper and deeper, and that's the whole idea. Otherwise, you will be, with a fool like me, you will be just wasting your time. Okay. Let's give a warm applause to Nirakula Mataji. Haribol! All right. Any other final questions? So we meet in 2 weeks' time, and then we'll continue. Maybe Shamlangi Mataji has to readjust the schedule a little bit with the reading schedule thing. No, actually the reading schedule can still continue, but the classes will. Is that okay? Anything else? You're good? You remember the question? But I think we'll do it some other time. Okay? Thank you. Vancha kalpatu